Okay. It is officially 7:30. And this is weird. I'm not used to doing this in a live format. Usually I'm sitting in a booth and I can make all the mistakes I want and, nobody's gonna but judge me. Good evening, everyone. How are we all doing tonight? Let's bring the microphone a little closer so it doesn't have to work so hard. I think that's fair. And we can change the plate. Come on, OBS. Do it for me. Why is OBS not changing the plate? Hey, there it is. Okay. Can you tell that I'm just one massive boomer? Like, secretly, I'm just a boomer in disguise. All right. So I figure we just sit and chat for a few seconds, and I'm watching the chat just go, and I'm realizing that there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with all of it, so I'm so sorry in advance if I miss something. I'm trying, I promise. But again, I am absolutely just a boomer in a 32-year-old body, which is really weird. There we go. So we're just gonna hang here for just a few minutes, not even, before we get started. I just want to give people some time to get in, check to make sure everything's working right, because I am the literal definition of a stream noob. A rook, as they would have called me in one of my old jobs. I am a boomer in disguise. It's the truth of it. You'd be amazed how long it takes me to figure out some technology. But I'm shocked to see 100 people, 100 plus people already here. Wow. Please tell me you dress as dapper as your avatar in real life. I used to. Before, the Rona hit. I have to admit my fashion choices for a good long while were slightly on the downward trend. I found myself in a pair of really beat up jeans for far longer than I want to admit to. 2:30 p.m. in my country. Where would 2:30 be? Because it's like 4 in California. Huh. No idea. I'm the best boomer? Well, I'll take that. I will absolutely take that. You spend all of your time editing? I honestly, as surprising as this might sound, I don't spend a lot of time editing. I freely admit when it comes to the editing game, I kind of cheat. I ended up buying RX-8, like the full version, the one that costs way too much money. But it doesn't cost way too much money because it makes everything so much easier. Okay, I think that's 4 minutes, 5 minutes. That's fair enough. All right, so I just realized I put this in the people and blogs category. Oh well, that's where it's staying. Maybe we can sneak under the YT censors. I don't know. So, first of all, I guess the biggest thing to say is a massive, massive, massive thank you to all of you, because I didn't know what to expect when I first started YouTube, and to have hit 10,000 subscribers, actually to have hit almost 11,000 as of the number today, because I checked it real quick. That kind of shocked me. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I wanted to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you. I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for you, and it kind of just... I'm not gonna lie, it makes me feel good to see how much you enjoy my work and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And it's also kind of awesome to see some familiar names in the chat that I've recognized. Eris! Hi, Eris! And I think I saw... I'm gonna say Pencil, but Never-Ending Pencil. It's a really long one to have to say all at once. Actually, I'm seeing a lot of people I recognize, which is awesome. I love that. I really do. So... See, that's the funny thing, because I'm seeing a bunch of your voice is adorable. Maybe that's what it is. I've never thought of my voice as being a nice voice. Maybe just because it's mine. I honestly, I think that could be what it is. I've grown up with my voice, so I'm sitting here going, it's my voice. It's kind of weird. Yes, I do have your espresso. It's in New Jersey, so we're gonna have to figure out a FedEx or something, but I think we can make this work. No. Seriously, I do need to say thank you to each and every one of you, because I wouldn't be doing this without all of your support, and it's just such a... It's kind of shocking to me a little bit, to be honest. So, yes, thank you. Do not hail me. I promise that's not a road you want to go down. I don't know what I'm doing. Don't hail Nomad. Don't follow me. Got no idea what I'm doing most days. But, to give you all a quick update, a couple of really cool things are coming out. So, tomorrow... Hold on, I'm checking my calendar. Yep, tomorrow you're going to be getting the next part of the Thief series, which in theory is part 4, but I probably should just say part 5, the train being part 2. I numbered things badly. I very much numbered things badly, so that's on me. Then next week, because March is kind of falling in a weird way, I didn't want to do Werewolf Week in a week where half of the week would be in March, half of it would be in April. Plus, with the 2 videos coming out for Werewolf Week this week, there's some big things going on with them, and I definitely think you're going to like them, but they're taking just a little bit more work. And also, I still have to contact a couple of people about them. Oh, sometimes I'm really bad at this, content creation thing. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, great, so I'm just gonna see all hail Nomad throughout the chat. Is that it? Fair enough, I probably asked for that. I think that's the golden rule of the internet. If you say don't do something, it just happens all the way. So, yeah, tomorrow is going to be Thief number 4. Next week is going to be... the Friday audio is going to be the second part of the vampire series that I've been playing with a little bit. And then Tuesday, if you follow me on Twitter, and by the way, the Twitter exists, I'm decently active on it. If you follow me on Twitter, you might know what's coming. And I'm so sorry, because I don't know what possessed me to do a Neco voice, cat boy, however you want to call it. But yeah, that's what you're getting on Tuesday, and I am so sorry in advance. It's it is the strangest thing I have recorded. Does contact people mean possible collabs? Oh, it may be. Maybe. I don't know. It might. It just might. Actually, I'll talk about that in a second. Twitter teamer here, outstanding. Oh, and hey, Inkwell. Seriously, I'm seeing a lot of people, so I'll try to. As I see you all, I will, because I'm recognizing a ton of names. This is kind of awesome. Catboy, Neco, yes. I've had some strange nights that I spent in the booth recording. That one might actually have been the strangest I've done. And it is a very different voice from what you're all used to. It's not the werewolf voice. It's nowhere near that. It's nowhere near any of the voices I normally do. So it is a little strange. But yeah. You never thought I'd do that? I never thought I'd do a Neco either, but I don't know what possessed me. All of a sudden I found myself in the booth and I'm sitting there, doing a whole different voice. It was okay. It was beyond strange. So, this is a live Q&A, and I've got my laptop sitting in front of me, my absolutely pro tier level gamer stream, which is a laptop, a PC monitor, and just everything all over my desk. But I've got Catboy Nomad. Oof. Not fair. I'll accept it. I had a lot of fun doing the voice. I've got the setup right here, and I'm gonna say, why don't we start doing? I've got the YouTube questions, I've got the Twitter questions, and then I'm gonna try to open it up depending on how long we've been going for questions on the chat here. And real quick, I have to give a big shout out to a very old friend of mine who's doing mod for me tonight, because I have absolutely zero idea how to mod and do the live stream at the same time. It's a fair amount of work, so I'm gonna kind of avoid that. Ooh, excuse me. So, yeah, why don't we get started with this? Been a fair amount of time. We got a lot of people in here. If I mispronounce your username, please do forgive me. I'm sometimes terrible with pronunciation. It's not my strongest suit, but okay. So Abby GKW 1019 asked, enemies to lovers or friends to lovers, which do you like to write and record? I do enjoy doing the friends to lovers stuff. It's kind of a nice, comfortable, easy place to be. But honestly, I think there's a lot more range in the enemies to lovers. And I get to really play with it a lot more, which is a lot of fun for me. Toe reveal? You don't want to see those, I promise. No, but I really do enjoy the enemies to lovers. I enjoy both, I do, but I think there's a little bit more stretching room for the enemies to lovers stuff. Okay. Also, I do have to real quickly apologize. I'm in my dining room where I stream and edit and all that. It's where my main setup is. So you may hear some ambient noise that I don't have the chance to edit out, like cars and all that. So sorry in advance. Okay. It's Raining Pigs with a Z, and I love that. Is there any type of audio that you would never do? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I didn't initially think I would be doing a Neco or a Catboy, but, here we are. Enjoy Tuesday or don't. I'm very sorry. I'm just so sorry. But I don't know if there are certain voices that I will not do because I think there are creators in the space who deserve that. Like, if somebody asked, would I voice a certain ethnicity? Probably not, because there's some amazing creators of all ethnicities, and I don't want to step on their toes, and I shouldn't. And so no, there's certain things I won't do from a character perspective. But if we're talking about enemies to lovers, friends to lovers, strangers to lovers, coworkers, all that, I don't know if there's anything I wouldn't do. Let's hope the neighbor doesn't have a mini concert. Absolutely, let's hope the neighbor doesn't have a mini concert. Yeah, I don't think there's any audio I would not do immediately. I would take it as a case-by-case basis. If there was something that made me truly uncomfortable, probably no. But again, I really do like to stretch what I do and how I do things, so I take it as a case-by-case basis. How many shots of espresso do you drink a day? Far too many. Far too many. And coffee. I drink a ton of coffee. But there's a valid reason for that. What's one trait of yours that you're most proud of? Oh. See, now you're just gonna make me blush, and you can't even see it. You can't even enjoy it because there's no camera. I don't know. I like to think I'm decently resilient. So I think I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, I'm decently resilient, and that's about the only answer I have. I have such a hard time talking about myself sometimes, and like I'll get that question, and it's what do you like most about yourself? And I'll answer something, vain, like my hair or something along those lines, because I don't know how to answer that question. Remy 112, do you ever feel awkward when editing? When I first started, yes. It was very, very strange to hear my voice coming back into my own ears, especially since like the first audio I ever edited was the Viking audio. Oh my god, I can't actually remember the name of that audio. Well, it's a good thing I'm on, YouTube itself, and I can just go straight to my channel. Content. The Viking audio was a little strange because it was the first, and there was something very off-putting. Oh, it was "You saved my life, let me take care of you." There was something so strange about hearing my own voice, and especially with the fact that I was singing in that audio, it was a little off-putting. But as I've gone through and as I've edited more and more, it's almost sometimes like I'm listening to somebody else, so it doesn't bother me as much. So, not anymore. I don't feel awkward, except, again, with the Neco. That one was a little strange. Hero Gamer 86. Which one of your characters was the most fun for you to write for? I'm probably going to say the werewolf. And I love all the characters. I do. But there's something about the werewolf where I get a lot more physical with how I record that. If you've ever pictured if you've pictured anything during the transition scenes, I'm doing a lot of that in the booth. I'm like actually moving my body and I'm contorting it. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I have to admit a close, very, very, very close second is Captain Kutz for the SCP audios. But that's actually because of my deep and abiding love for the SCP Foundation and the wiki and just all of the writing that is done there. I'm an absolute simp for the SCP Foundation. I would die on that hill if I had to, because they are so good. Which one of your characters was the most fun to voice? Kind of the same. It's kind of the werewolf. Both of the werewolves, actually. I love doing both of them. But again, I enjoy doing a lot of them. I think they all give me a different way to stretch and a different way to play around and have just a ton of fun. My favorite mythological creature. Okay, so here's my problem. Werewolves do not count as mythological creatures to the best of my knowledge. So I would call them more fantasy. And I think I stand in a place of somewhat, I don't want to say authority because that makes me sound a little pompous, and I don't want to do that, but my degree from college is actually in classical studies, so ancient Greece, ancient Rome, ancient Egypt, and a lot of mythology. Um, so I would have to say I think the Valkyries from Nordic mythology are all very cool. Um, and when you really get into the study of how they, interact with one another and how they all have different jobs, it's very cool. Can I say ooh woo? Maybe at the end. Maybe at the end. Favorite mythology: Greek, Roman, Egyptian, Norse, or Celtic, or other? This is a phenomenal question. By the way, if you all have asked some truly amazing questions, and they're so good. Like every question I've loved. But I love this question because, again, it's speaking to that classics major in me. Um, I love the Greek and Roman pantheon, and you, Greek and Roman pantheon is kind of the same thing because when the Romans developed theirs, they basically just kind of took the Greek and melded it to their own. I mean, Zeus becomes Jupiter, Ares becomes Mars. They all kind of just switch into planets, and it's so cool to me. But I love Greek and Roman because it is so fleshed out. It is so detailed, and you know what gods did what and who did this or that. You know who's related to who, how everyone is related. I think that is so cool. But then you go to the Egyptian mythologies, and the the depth and the artistry and the vivid imagery that the Egyptians used is amazing. It is so vibrant that you just can't help but get yourself lost in the mythology. Mythology. Sometimes I have problems with that word. Um, the Norse mythology is very, very, very cool because, again, it's one of those, it's very fleshed out. We know how it all begins, we know how it all ends. There's a whole cycle to follow. There's great little stories that involve the giants and the Valkyries and the gods and the two warring factions between the Aesir and the Vanir. It's amazing, and it is so deep and detailed that you can get lost in it, and I love it. And then we got, honestly, I think one of my personal, though, the Celtic mythologies are very cool, but I kind of love the Celtic mythologies because they're so vague. And it is so strange. I mean, I always think of the story of Fintan, who was one of the first settlers of Ireland in the first wave of what the Irish mythology cycle calls the invaders. And the invaders were all the people who came to Ireland to settle there. Fintan came over with an entire group of settlers, but somehow, during the trip, everyone except 72 women and 3 men died. So when they arrived on the island, you had 3 men, 72 women. And then somehow the other 2 men died, so it was only Fintan with 72 women. And at some point he must have gotten tired of it because he decided, I'm going to turn myself into a fish and swim away upstream. No explanation as to how Fintan does this. No explanation as to where he goes. Did everyone have the power to magically turn themselves into a salmon? We have no idea. It's just accepted in Celtic mythology that, yep, some people can turn into salmon, and there they go. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And that's kind of just Irish mythology and Celtic mythology as a whole. Magic exists. We don't need to explain it. It's just there. And some people have these cool powers. And for the record, Fintan is not the only individual in the Celtic myth series that magically turns himself into a fish and then swims away. This happens on more than one occasion. So I'm hoping somewhere deep in my own Irish ancestry, I hold that power. So if I ever need to make a quick exit, there's a river, half a mile from me, and I can just get out of here. It'd be very cool. I love that question, though. It's my classics degree finally becoming useful. Frong, Frong. What's an obscure random fact that you know that make people question your mental stability? how much time do you have? Because I don't know if we want to have a 12-hour Q&A, but I could take all 12. I think a lot of the weird mythology trivia and factoids I know, I think that one's definitely there. I definitely think people are weirded out by some of my weird and obscure movie knowledge. Or television knowledge. I have a weird amount of that. But I think just in general, people meet me and go, "Oh no, he's a little nuts." Okay, good to know. And I'm sure as we're going through tonight, some weird facts are going to come up, and somebody's going to go, "Oh no, it's that one. That's the one that makes him go that he's crazy." All hail Fish Nomad. I'm telling you, I just hope that power is somewhere in my ancestry, and I can fish out. If nothing else, if I ever fall off of a boat, it would come very in handy. Nani Squillo. How does it feel to be a voice actor? It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, and I'm pretty sure everyone in the ASMR audio RP space would probably tell you the same thing, because to be able to step into a recording space and become someone else and live that moment, it's so much fun. It is a lot of fun. Is it something you're truly passionate about? I didn't think I would be at first, and then I started doing it, and it just became more and more fun as I went, and it's become a blast. Esther Louise, which audio or series, of yours was the most challenging to make? So, from a writing perspective, it's the SCP stuff. Because the SCP takes a ton of research to get right. And if you follow me on Twitter a couple of weeks ago when the second SCP audio, the tour, came out, you would have seen I had to issue an apology. That audio actually got edited after it was posted because I had to remove about a minute and a half. Man, I trip over my own tongue all the time, and you'd think I couldn't speak. I had to edit that entire audio. I had to take about a minute and a half out because I had not read the entry for one of the SCPs I featured for about, I'm going to say 6 months. It was SCP-166. I hadn't read the entry, and I did the audio, and then I went back and I read the entry because I saw something else on someone else's YouTube channel. And it turned out that the entry had been massively altered to where everything I said no longer made sense. So I jumped in, I cut out that section. Again, I could go on and on about the SCP. From a writing perspective, I think that's the most challenging because it takes a ton of research. From the actual voicing, some of the werewolf stuff is hard to do when I'm trying to do the change noises and like mimicking all that because it can actually like physically get warm, like I'm sweating in my booth. But I find everything a little challenging in its own way, trying to find the right balance for each character. So I think everyone in its own way. A simp for every anime. Oh, okay. I guess you're getting an early one of this. A simp for every anime character. Ooh ooh. Asked. What is it? What do your bloopers look like? Mostly it's me just saying the same word over and over and over again. Then there are the times when I can't post the bloopers that I have because usually it's me yelling at the top of my lungs at my neighbors, who can't hear me, by the way. I'm in an isolated space, so the sound doesn't travel, but it's me yelling at my neighbors and screaming violently about how I hate their cars or their dogs or any of that because it's 1 a.m. when I'm recording. Why do you need to rip your car up and down the street, like a madman? And I'm even hearing it right now. Yeah. That's my bloopers. Absolutely look like that. Also, why are you so good at making scripts? When I try writing a script, I kind of just cringe out. Okay, I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's something I've learned. I cringe at every single audio I record. I really do. I will get in the booth, I will record something, I will get out, and I will be on top of the world. I loved what I just did. That was so good. I loved it. And then it sets in. I get this like feeling in the back of my head. No, it's not. It's not good. What are you talking about? That's absolute garbage. No one is going to want to listen to that. Just delete it and go make it go away. Do it again. And I'll get like that for like 12 or 14 hours. And then when I actually go and I do the first edit, which is the rough edit, removing all the excess dialogue and all that and making sure everything's where it needs to be, I find it's not anymore. So I'm going to, if I may make a suggestion, I'm betting your scripts are not cringy at all. I'm betting they're actually pretty good, and you should give them a try. You really should, because it's so much fun, and being able to express yourself either through script writing or through making audios, it's a great way to spend some time. Bianca Simiotti, I'm so sorry about if I got your last name wrong, but do you secretly read all the comments? No secret. I do read all the comments. One, because I have found that pretty much every video I post, I get spam comments in there, and I go in and delete them. It's stuff like a timestamp and then a link to a website, and I'm like, nope, that's gotta go. That's a virus or something. But also because, honestly, I do like seeing what everyone is saying, and I like, there's a lot of really good feedback, actually, in there. And I just like knowing that you're all enjoying it. It's so much fun, and it is so reassuring to know that you enjoy it. And it just kind of brings a little bit of warmth to my life, which is, again, why I keep saying, thank you all for being here. What is your favorite of all your series? I don't have a favorite. I like them all for different reasons. I really do. I find some of them more fun to write or more fun to voice, but if you told me to choose a singular favorite series, I don't think I could do it. It's like the old joke, if you ask a parent to pick their favorite child. I don't actually think I could pick between them. And I hope you have a great day and stay healthy. Thank you very much. I am actually having a very good day. Got some great news from an old friend of mine about a new job he started. Everybody is healthy. Actually, most all of my family has since been vaccinated. I'm the only one who hasn't. Kind of sucks being somewhat healthy and young. It does not, actually. That's purely a joke. I'm very grateful for my health. Don't worry. Okay, again, I'm very sorry about if I get the name wrong here, but Siam Hussein, do you listen to ASMR audios? Yes, I do. I've actually been listening on and off for about 3 years. If yes, which ASMR artists are your favorite? I don't know if I can say I have a favorite, but I'm about to embarrass a few people in chat here, so here we go. When I started listening about 3 years ago, 4 years ago now, I don't know why, but a channel, Jellybean Knows ASMR, showed up in my feed. And I ended up watching a few of her videos. And then I went to Softly Galoshes, and I listened to a few of her videos. And then I kind of fell off of it for a while. And then somewhere around April or May of last year, when everything was locking down and everything was getting real, like, serious, for some reason, in my YouTube feed, one of Indiran Audio's videos, The Gang Leader's Daughter, the first one, popped up in my feed. And I hadn't listened in years, and I was like, why is this showing up all of a sudden? What's going on? So I turned it on, and I listened, and I ended up pretty much binging through her channel in about a week and a half. And then from there, it was Dreams of Peaches, it was Honey Audio, it was Teacup Audio, then it was over to Cardlin, then it was Yuri Voice, and then I started actually doing it myself and putting out my own content, which is where I ended up finding Eris, she's in the chat, and if you all haven't checked her scripts out, she's the one who writes City Wolf, and is also very talented herself. I think I saw Briar in here, Briar Audio, also very, very talented. There's a ton of people. Delightful Dork is awesome. I love her content. There are so many people I've started following and listening to. I can't even keep up with it sometimes. my feed on my personal YouTube channel, not the Nomad, but my honest to God own individual account, it's like 80% audio anymore. um, yes, everyone should thank Eris for City Wolf because seriously, it is so much fun to do. Okay, favorite movie. Oh, that's a tough one because I have like 12 answers to the question favorite movie. Because my knee jerk reaction is either going to be Serenity, which is the movie based on the Firefly TV series, or it's going to be Lord of the Rings. But then I can also throw in Shawshank Redemption, which is just a classic of the first order. I could throw in The Great Escape. I could throw in Blade Runner, both of them. The John Wick series. I really like the Sherlock Holmes series, the ones with Robert Downey Jr. I like the TV series with Benedict Cumberbatch too, but favorite movie is a tough one. But I think if it's going to be between anything, it's going to be between Serenity, Lord of the Rings, and Blade Runner for me. Jay Caesarea asks, are you going to do part 4 of The City Wolf and the Country Lamb? Yes. It's coming out during Werewolf Week, which is what month? Let me bring up a calendar. So Werewolf Week will start the 5th of April, and that's going to be that Tuesday audio will be City Wolf Country Lamb Part 4, and then the Friday audio will be the Werewolf Saga, where you also may learn his name for the main character in that audio. Just saying. And but yes, that series is absolutely continuing. A lot of the series are series. What did I said? I said Lord of the Rings, and now I have to speak like Gollum. A lot of the series are continuing. Nikki F, what are some of your inspirations on the audios that you've made or are currently making? So obviously the SCP Foundation for the SCP stuff. For the Vikings, it's partially my own culture and heritage, and partially just I love the mythology surrounding Nordic mythology and the history of the Nordic expansion of the Middle Ages. I love werewolves. I love the mythology and the fantasy around them, so that's where that comes from. I'm going to be completely honest. The Thief audio is because of my deep and abiding love for the video game Red Dead Redemption 2. And I will freely admit very publicly that's why he's named Arthur. Because I adore that video game with a passion, and it just felt right to pay a little bit of an homage to that game and the inspiration for that whole series. I find inspiration in some pretty strange places, though. So it's a little hard. Sometimes it can be a song, or sometimes it can be a TV series, or sometimes it can just be something that popped into my head. Okay. Elisha Hope, why did you start ASMR? Well, I kind of talked a little bit about I've been a listener for years, or on and off for years. And eventually, somewhere during the beginning of lockdown and the pandemic, I needed something to do, and I loved listening, and I loved the stories. And I kind of said, well, what the heck? Let's try it out. Let's see where we can go with this and, what it's like. And that's just kind of where it took off. I would say absolutely I was inspired by a lot of other great creators, and it's what really kicked me into the space. Favorite animal? If we're talking fantasy, it's the werewolf. If we're talking reality, it's just the wolf. All you have to do is remove 4 letters. Favorite movie I discussed. Favorite TV show is absolutely going to be Firefly. Bar none. I think I watch it at least once a year still. Maybe sometimes twice. Do you like anime? Yes, I do. I don't watch as much as I used to. But I mean, Attack on Titan, Hunter x Hunter. I do try to watch whenever I get a chance, but I don't watch as much TV anymore. What country do I live in? I live in the glorious Republic of New Jersey, which should be a country unto itself with the way it acts sometimes in comparison to the rest of the United States. And I say that with a deep and abiding love for my state and also a deep and abiding hatred for my state. It goes both ways. One thing you can't live without: coffee. If I had any superpower, what would it be? Flight. 100%. Because I hate flying and I have to, for my 9 to 5 job, I have to fly a lot. So if I could avoid airports at like all costs and just like lift off and go somewhere, I'd do it in a heartbeat. If you were a supernatural creature, what would you be? Werewolf, easily enough. And then finally, what languages do you speak? So obviously, I speak English. Ich spreche in bisschen Deutsch. A little bit. I will also admit my German is a little rusty sometimes. At the end of the day, I also don't love doing German because I'm always worried my accent comes off a little too caricature-y, and I really don't want that. Un pas de français? Oui, petit. I took French for 2 years in high school after 3 years of Spanish, and I freely admit French is a very hard language for me sometimes. So, again, it's one of those, I don't use it all that often. He from Jersey, he valid. You gotta be valid if you're from Jersey. It's a fight to survive every day in this place. And of course, hablo un poco de español. Lo siento, mi acento es malo. Again, my Spanish accent is not great. I once had someone tell me, you absolutely sound like a dude from Jersey who's speaking Spanish. I respect that. I am a dude from Jersey who's speaking Spanish. But I had to learn a fair amount of Spanish when I was working through college because I was at a retail business that was in a very diverse neighborhood, and we would have people who only came in speaking Spanish, and it was one of those, I had to be able to converse with people to get them what they want. Okay. Danielle can't. Well, I hope eventually you can. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Why do you people hang out with me? What? Y'all know I'm an idiot. What hobbies do you enjoy? So, aside, of course, from audio RP and ASMR, I'm really big into cosplay. I love doing cosplay. Actually, one of the very important pieces for cosplay I'm working on showed up today. Literally today. I've been waiting for it for like 6 months because it had to come from Russia, and I'm so excited. I will probably end up putting that on Twitter sometime either tonight or tomorrow. Besides cosplay, I really actually enjoy woodworking, of all things. I was taught to woodwork and, work in a shop and, hammer nails and all that when I was really little. My parents actually ended up signing me up for a shop class that was like an extracurricular. And I ended up falling in love with it. Past that, I would say being outdoors a lot. I love hiking, camping, kayaking, and canoeing. I just like being outside as much as possible and doing all that. Do you have a pet? Yes. Yuri. When I talk about Yuri in my audios, he's actually my IRL dog. He's... We're not sure how old he is. I want to say 3 or 4 at this point, but nobody can really tell because he was actually taken out of a animal hoarding situation. So but I adopted him a year and a half ago now. It was right before everything got locked down. But yeah, I have Yuri, the husky that you've heard in my audios, is my honest-to-God dog. Given the amazing characters you create, I have to ask, do you play D&D? No, but I would really like to learn at some point. Janae asks, how have you been mentally and physically? I'm doing pretty well, overall. Honestly, physically, I've been doing better than I have been in years. I actually really enjoy exercising. I absolutely despise going to the gym. And I couldn't go to the gym, so I ended up finding a home workout regimen that really works well. And I've started really enjoying doing that. Mentally, I'm doing as well as I think everyone can right now. I'm holding it together. Seriously, actually, this doing ASMR and audio RP has provided a really solid outlet, and in some ways, it has become a bit of therapy for me. HL, what made you decide to start making audios? Well, again, a lot of it was I was inspired by a bunch of other creators, and I also really like telling stories. So it became a bit of both of those. Micah Angela, do you ever plan on doing a collaboration with other VA creators? Um, like I said, maybe stop by during Werewolf Week. Maybe there's some stuff going on there that you're gonna want to see. What is your plan goal as a VA creator? I wish I knew. Honestly, to just keep making content, good content for all of you. That's what I want to do. Um, I'm planning on starting to stream more regularly over on Twitch. Um, the link has started to appear down in the description boxes on all my videos. Um, Short-term goals, I'd like to really up the quality of the video production, so not just a static imaged thumbnail, but something a little more, you know, professional looking. Maybe a little more custom design for the thumbnails. Uh, Something along those lines. But long-term plans, I'm not 100% sure how I would describe them, but I've got the short-term stuff. Kelvin Nerd, what is your zodiac sign? I'm an Aquarius. Um, who made that PFP, my profile picture? Ooh, okay. The profile picture that you see on the screen right now and the one that I'm using on YouTube and Twitter currently was made by a artist, Magical Sylvie. And I'm actually going to jump over to Twitter real quick so I can find her page. Here we go. Oh, sorry, Magical Scope. It's Magical Scope. But I found her purely on accident. Another VA was doing a hey, everybody share your art below. That's the Twitter handle for her. Another VA was doing a hey, everybody share your art handles and all that below, and I happened to stumble across her art portfolio, and it was amazing. The fantasy artwork that she does is so good. So I ended up jumping into her commissions, and this is what came out, and I think it looks awesome. I really do. I honestly wish I looked this good in real life. What advice do you give people who want to start making ASMR videos? I know this is going to sound trite. I really do. But do it. Just do it. I see so many people who want to talk themselves out of doing anything in life, and, well, I shouldn't do this because it's not the right time, or it's not, this or that. Don't let yourself get bogged down. If you want to do this, if you want to do ASMR and audio RP, do it. It is so much fun. Don't worry about gear. Don't worry about the perfect recording space or the perfect thumbnail or the perfect anything. Just do it. You will get better as you advance and as you make more content. I know people who, when they started this, they started on their cell phones. My first recording setup was a microphone surrounded by moving blankets that I bought from Harbor Freight. I mean, we're talking $20 worth of moving blankets, $5 worth of PVC pipe, and a microphone. And that's what the Viking audio was recorded on. The recording setup has gotten better, I admit, but I did my first editing and recording all on Audacity, which is a phenomenal suite of software if you want to get something for editing. It's free. But just do it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Just do it and enjoy every minute of it because it is so much fun. Sorry, I got a little on a soapbox there, didn't I? Sorry. J Catastrophe. If you could pick one Greek god or goddess, who would it be and why? Okay, so again, this is where my classics degree comes into play. I know the Greek gods and goddesses. I don't know if I'd want to pick any of them. They're a interesting bunch, but if I had to pick, I always feel bad for Ares because it was actually frowned upon and considered distasteful to worship him in Greek civilization, ancient Greek civilization, because you were effectively worshiping war and death, and even the Spartans wouldn't say full prayers to him or any of that. We only have a few recorded examples of hymns to Ares. I think there's like 2 or 3 that we all know of. There's not a ton, so I kind of feel bad for him. But then I also really like Hades, because I think Hades is a very cool god and has a whole lot of interesting backstory and lore. Absolutely, Eris is a very cool goddess. And also, for people who didn't know, Eris is actually where we get the name, or the word in English, discord. Because when the Romans came and took the Greek gods, Eris became Discordia, or the goddess of chaos and strife. Therefore, discord. So, I don't know if I could ever pick one god or goddess from the Greek pantheon, but they're all very cool. They're all very crazy. Oh, what are so astronomical? What are some words you struggle to pronounce right? Oof. Okay. The word actually is awful for me. I will say the word actually like 4 times, and I usually have to slow it down. Same with exactly. I can't get exactly right to save my life. I usually just twist it. It usually comes out exactly. Exactly. So I really have to slow that one down and exactly. Quickly, because for some reason the QU swaps up in my mouth really hard, so it ends up being quickly. So I have to slow that one down as well. And then finally, vulnerable. Vulnerable. I can't even get it right here. Vulnerable. I hate that word sometimes. It is so bad. I will change it to like weakness or something if I have to. It's rough. What inspired you to have the name Nomad for your channel? It was actually an old nickname that a couple of friends had for me, but it's also a little bit of personal philosophy in that I never want to be stagnant. I want to always keep moving and keep growing and keep going further and further. So, kind of in some ways, I want to be a nomad. And again, that was very pretentious sounding, wasn't it? I'm so sorry. See, this is what I'm talking about. Why? Why? Why do you hang out here? There are people who are less pretentious than me, I promise. If you could be a superhero, what would your superhero name be as well as your superpower? Well, see, I just want to be Batman. Batman's very cool. Or the Green Lantern. I love Green Lantern. But I feel like if I was a superhero, like my own superhero, I would still stick with the name Nomad because I think it'd be a cool name for a superhero. And I don't know what my superpowers would be. I could talk anyone into anything. That would be the superpower. I think that's it. I feel like that every VA would say that one, though. Dual portals. Are there any accents you've always wanted to learn? So, obviously, I have a very standard American accent with my normal speaking voice. Of course, I could always jump into my Irish accent very easily. It's something I've been working on for years, but it's to a point now where I don't even really think about it. I just can drive into it. I actually spent 3 days in college speaking purely like this to screw with the people at work, and it was a lot of fun. I try not to do a German as well because, again, I feel like the German comes off a little too caricature, and I sometimes don't want to do it because I feel like it could be a little offensive, and I don't want to offend anyone. Um, I would love to learn a better Southern accent. Sometimes I think my Southern comes off just a little too twangy, and I really would like to find something a little more Dallas or San Antonio or Austin as opposed to a little less Alabama, Louisiana. I kind of want to move my Southern accent a little more west than I do southeast. I'd love to do a good French, and I mean, I just like learning accents. That's the thing. Um, Night Eyes. Do you have any big ideas for audios coming up? Yes, I do actually. So there's a story I've been playing around with for about 15 years in my head. Since I was in high school, there's been something rattling around my head. Um, I don't quite know how to make it work right now, so I'm kind of keeping that one on the down low. One of the big things I do want to start doing though, and I would love to do this as a fully collaboration series, interviews with the SCPs. So take an SCP subject and interview them. I think that could be so much fun. I mean, I could do a Plague Doctor interview. We could do the Comedy and Tragedy Mask. Kane, Abel, the new SCP-166, the Teenage Gaia, as she is now. There's so many different SCPs I would love to interview. I think that's the biggest idea I have right now. Jess Jala, if you could do any role in the future, no matter how weird, what would it be and why? Okay, sorry, I'm about to geek out just a little bit, so I'm sorry in advance, but if you're into the SCP, very recently, an SCP short film came out called SCP Overlord. It was done by probably one of the bigger, if not the biggest filmmaker in the SCP space, Evan Royalty, sorry. And the director's name is escaping me right now. But it is 30 minutes, and it is so good from start to finish. They've done something else called SCP Dollhouse, which was just as good. They're both truly, truly excellent. Stephen Hancock. Stephen Hancock was the director, and Evan Muir was the screenplay writer. It is so good. And recently, I was looking at it, I was watching it again for like the millionth time, and I was reading the comments, and the first comment is from a YouTube channel called SCP Illustrated. SCP Illustrated is also a voice actor / animator who does a lot of explanation of the SCPs, the stories on the wiki. And his comment was how much fun it was to do SCP Overlord. And as it turns out, the voice behind SCP Illustrated played one of the main characters in SCP Overlord. He was Scepter 1-1 Lambert. It was amazing. I was nerding out so hard when I read that. So, any role in the future, anything with one of the SCP films, I would do that in a heartbeat. It could be a 30-second role where I get killed by an SCP. I don't care. It would be so cool to me. See, yeah, totally nerding out. Anytime I get to the SCP, I start nerding out real hard. I'm sorry. Angie, what series are you planning on continuing? Obviously, the Werewolf Saga. Obviously, City Wolf and Country Lamb. For as long as Eris wants to write that one. And it's an amazing series. It's a lot of fun. So, seriously, however long she wants to write that for, I will keep voicing it. I absolutely want to continue The Thief. The SCP stuff. Like I said, you're getting Vampire Part 2 next week. So, a lot of the series will be continued. I'm debating about another part to the Viking audio, but I don't know because I don't quite know what it would be yet, so that one's a little tricky. But a lot of the series are continuing, and continuing for a while. Brianna Rogers. What got you into voice acting, and was it something you always wanted to do, or did you just try it out and found out you enjoyed it? It was something I tried out, and it stuck. It was a lot of fun. Story Epic Star. How did it feel when you did the werewolf roleplay from Friends to Lovers? It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoy getting the the body and the voice all in one and really just bringing that character to life. He's a lot of fun. And to be honest, not that I think any of the audios necessarily represent like who I am as a person in real life, but there are certain things about him that I can just relate to, and it's just a lot of fun to see that happen. Yes, werewolf sequels. The werewolf sequels are coming, I promise. Nikki F. Oh, hi, just dropping by to say how much I appreciate your tweets. Help me going through every week. I'm glad you do. When I say things and I talk to you all about how I do consider you beautiful souls, and I mean that sincerely, and I do mean when I say that I hope you are doing well and you're having an amazing day because I want you to, because it really is important to me. Brooke Hudson, what's your favorite part about voice acting? Again, probably the challenge of stretching myself out and doing different voices, bringing different characters to life. I love it. Audrey Love, do you listen to other ASMR artists or does it mess with your creativity? I do, and it does not. Honestly, I've been able to kind of separate them out pretty well in my mind. What's your color scheme, like clothing wise? I love that question. So, 9 times out of 10, you'll catch me in a pair of either blue or black jeans and a flannel shirt. It's literally what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing a pair of black jeans and a flannel shirt. If it's not flannel, it's going to be some form of like a gray button down or a green. Earth tones, I guess it would be called. But then again, I also don't consider blue and black necessarily earth tones in certain regards. Because like black jeans, I'm talking like jet black. And yeah, blue jeans, black jeans, a flannel, gray shirts. Simple. It's very simple. Fishy Trishy. How do you play out your kissing scenes? If you're asking, like, technically speaking, it's my left thumb. If you ever wanted to know how I'm doing that, it's my left thumb. On a more esoteric note, I guess I've always kind of been a little bit of a romantic, so it's not hard to get into that mindset for me, and kind of like the romance and the soft warmth of it, I really enjoy. And it's not hard for me to just jump right into that mindset. Louis, would you ever consider making a video of small clips where you have bloopers? Like I said, my bloopers aren't that exciting. A lot of it is just me saying words over and over and over again, and then once in a blue moon, me screaming at my neighbors. And honestly, I don't know if I can put the ones about the neighbors online. Like, it's aggressive. It's very aggressive. You're in the middle of a take. You had a really good moment, and all of a sudden you hear the engine roaring in the background, and it comes through everything. It's terrible. Just for fun, if you had a girlfriend, boyfriend, and you're in a stable relationship for over 1+ year, would you tell him/her that you have this channel? Oh, that is a fascinating question because honestly, I don't know. I think personally I would. If there was enough trust there, yes. But that has to be an individualized decision. That has to be one that everyone makes on their own because it has to be where you have faith. So personally, probably I would say yes. But again, that's a decision everyone has to make on their own. Nefbot, what would your top choice for an apocalypse skill be? Engineer. I want to be able to build stuff to keep people safe and alive and healthy. 100% engineer. Do you write detailed scripts or do you tend to improv? Depends. Sometimes it is a very detailed script. The audio with the neon lights in the rear view, I think is what it's called, that was very detailed. I had that audio pop into my head at 3 in the morning. Literally, I was lying in bed and I ended up grabbing my phone and I wrote out almost the entire thing on my phone. But then for a lot of the werewolf content, I just sort of have bullet points and I make sure to hit the points that I want to make, but a lot of it's just on the cuff. Okay, for the Neco audio that you're getting on Tuesday, I ended up improving the entire thing. The whole thing is off the cuff, so it really depends on the moment and the audio. Julia, what was your favorite kid show growing up? Oof, I am so about to age myself. I really dug the Wild Thornberries. I don't know why. I just thought it was a cool show. A lot of Nick shows. SpongeBob, Wild Thornberries, Team Rocket. Not Team Rocket, that was from Pokemon. Though I did watch Pokemon. Rocket Power, that was what it was. It was Rocket Power. Good lord. Blanked out on that one hard. Sorry. But yeah, a lot of the Nick shows. And a lot of Disney. A lot of the Disney stuff. Movies more for them. Ebony Cole. Hardest part about being a voice actor. Finding time to record and a quiet time. For a whole month, would you rather stop drinking coffee or lose your voice? Can I get a third option, please? Like, please. Can I get a third option? Because I can't choose there. I've got nothing. That's like asking me to choose between my left arm and my right arm, and I can't. You woke up in the middle of the night and heard a noise that scared you. What would it be? Well, hopefully not somebody kicking my door in. Usually, actually, it's the guy who lives upstairs from me and his music when it kicks on at about 4 in the morning with a massive bass thump. Nani Shindaru, what are your thoughts in life and the future? Just be kind. I know that's gonna sound, trite and like I just took it off of a motivational poster somebody stuck on the wall, but we could all use a lot more kindness in our life. And learn how to cook. You'll be grateful for it. Unexpected Me. Was the Blanton's bourbon from the Drunk Boyfriend episode a reference to the John Wick canon that inspired the Assassin episode? Sort of. Blanton's is actually my preferred brand of bourbon. I actually have a bottle of it sitting right next to me on my bar. But Blanton's is truly just probably my go-to bourbon. I have a ton of bottles sitting there, but it's the go-to. But it is also a bit of a nod because I do really enjoy the John Wick series, and I'm ashamed to admit sometimes how much inspiration I've taken from that. Hey, Ann. Did you decide? Why did you decide to start making ASMR? Like I've been saying, I really enjoy telling stories. Storyteller Lizzie. I know everyone has werewolves work a little differently. What quirks do your werewolves have as you portray them? So I think I'm a little bit more standard in the full moon. They're a lot more bipedal. They even look a little more what I would consider traditional. But one of the things that I've incorporated is that the werewolves in that world can, how do I want to describe this? They can sort of enter a half form at any time. So I described it in the first audio. They get a little shaggier. Their facial hair will grow in. Their teeth get a little more pointed. Everybody gets a little shaggier and a lot stronger and a lot more growly. I think that's the biggest difference. Lindsay Antwine, do you plan on posting content on other sites? Yes. I am currently looking into putting together a website, but that's actually a pretty big project as it's turning out to be. I'm also looking at trying to set up a Reddit. I prefer to do a subreddit than just posting to Audio Candy. But in the meantime, I probably will start posting to Audio Candy. Everything right now is uploaded both on YouTube and on Soundgasm, which is a really good hosting site for audios to Reddit. And I post it there purely as a backup, as well as it's on a cloud drive just to keep everything safe. Always back up your work. But yes, I absolutely do want to start posting to a website or Reddit at some point in the near future. Okay. Catherine Gallagher. Would you rather live in a fantasy land or a sci-fi future? Whew. Sci-fi future. I'm thinking sci-fi future, definitely. Daughter of Darkness asks, what is your greatest fear? So, okay. I'm going to start by saying I hate spiders. Not a fan of spiders. They have their place in this world, and I don't like hurting any creatures, but they need to stay out my house. The spiders need to stay out of my house. On a more philosophical level, I think being stagnant, again, I never want to get stuck. I always want to, in some way, be learning or growing and becoming better. Or at least, not staying in one place. So, I think that's probably my greatest fear. Okay, so now we're jumping over real quick to the Twitter questions. Franz, face reveal, question mark? Probably not. I would be very, very, very hard-pressed to do a face reveal. Mainly because when I do this content, I don't necessarily want you to picture what I look like. I want you as the listeners to be able to experience it how you want. I'm sure you all have different visions in your head of how the werewolf looks, how the thief looks, how the vampire looks, how the SCP guys look. And I want you to have that. It's like when you read a really good book and you have these vivid images in your head of what that book looks like. That's kind of what I want, so I'd be very, very hard-pressed to do a face reveal. Also, what's your favorite among your videos? Again, I don't know if I could ever choose a singular favorite. Let's see. Hey, Briar! Or Greenbrier Audio, for anyone who doesn't know. What would you do if you were given the power of teleportation? Man, I really wish I could come up with a good answer, like, travel around the world helping people or anything. But I guarantee me, I would just make sure, I would stop walking everywhere. I would teleport from where I am in front of my desk right now over to the sofa to watch something. Or I would teleport to bed. I'd pretty much just stop walking everywhere. Favorite coffee brands? Okay. So here's where I have to get a little bit political. My 9-to-5 job, I sell coffee for a living. That's what I actually do. That's how I make money. So there is a brand that I'm very loyal to, but I can't just say that. Also because actually it's a pretty decent piece of who I am, so it could... I can't mention them. I will say, however, Death Wish Coffee, I actually know the guy who runs it. He is a very chill dude, and he makes a killer product. Believe it or not, when they still existed, and they do not anymore, at least to the best of my knowledge, there was a grocery store called Fairway that had phenomenal coffee. And it was roasted in store. You could buy it by the bag. It was great. Yes, I do live and breathe coffee. I can't even help it. I'm 100%. My kitchen counter has an espresso machine and a coffee machine right next to each other. But yeah, there's so much good coffee out there. Lavazza is another big coffee brand that I really like. Again, because I've actually worked alongside them in some way, shape, or form for a chunk of my career. And I've actually gotten to go to the Lavazza brewing lab in Manhattan, which is probably the coolest place I've ever been. I mean, it was wall-to-wall espresso machines and coffee machines and all of their coffees, including coffee from the original coffee plantation in the world, like the very first place where coffee was cultivated in a place called Kaffa in Africa. That was very cool. But yeah, I think if I had to put my finger on it, Death Wish and Lavazza for me. If you could put yourself in any fantasy sci-fi world, which would you choose? Firefly universe. I would absolutely love to be a space cowboy and a ship captain. I would do that. Dream car. That's a great question because I don't think I have one. I definitely think a Ferrari California is on that list. But also like a really old classic Chevy, like a shark fin, the one that like 1940s. Ooh, or an old Jag. Old Jaguars that look properly villainous are so good. Rose's drawing. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? See, now you're just trying to get me in trouble because I feel like any answer I give, I'm going to get roasted by everyone else. I will say it is a Ben and Jerry's flavor, brownie batter core. It's off the chain. I love that ice cream. But all ice cream choices are valid. I'm just saying. All ice cream choices are valid. Amy EXE. Out of the three, which coffee is better? Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, or homebrew? Okay, so again, as I have said, I work in the coffee industry. So I know some things. I'm going to say this. I like Starbucks for the mixed drinks. If you're getting like a cappuccino or a mocha or a latte, they do really, really well. They're very good at it. They have that down to a science. If I'm out driving and I need to pick something up, if there's a Starbucks and a Dunkin' Donuts across the road from each other, I'm probably going to head to the Dunkin' just because I think their dark roast is really, really, really good. But honestly, I prefer the stuff I brew at home. Like I said, I have an espresso machine and I have a pour-over coffee machine for just that reason. Okay. Never-ending pencil. Hi, Dylan. I saw you. I see you in the chat. Big source of inspiration for you. Music. 100% music. The audio with the neon lights in the rear view, with the city lights. It's with the city lights in the rear view. That's the name of that audio. The inspiration for that came from one of the ending songs to Cyberpunk 2077. It's the Aldecaldo ending. The piece of music, there's just something about it that at the same time it is both mournful and really hopeful, and I love that piece of music. And it was playing in my earbuds for like 2 days straight, and that's where that audio came from. Music is massively inspiring to me. The Boyfriend audio, You Deserve Better. In order to get into that mindset, I actually listened to 2 songs from Woodkid's new album, S16, a song called Horizons into Battlegrounds and In Your Likeness. I think they may be 2 of the most beautiful pieces of music I have ever heard, maybe even of all time. They're sad, they're heavy, they're heartbreaking in certain ways, but there's so much truth in those 2 songs that I can't even begin to express it. So, and that's what got me into that mindset, and that's what got me where I needed to be for that audio. Music is a massive inspiration. Favorite color is green. Are you ever going to play one of your instruments in your videos? As soon as I can figure out how to properly record them, maybe. The electric guitars, that's hard. It's not easy to record an electric guitar in the setup that I have. The acoustic, maybe, but I have to really play with how it's picked up by my mic currently because it's not the most optimal setup and I want it to sound good. Um, okay. Little Inkwell, who's also a scriptwriter and also a very good scriptwriter, and you should check out. Um, if it were your last day on Earth, what would you do and where would you go? Wow, that is a heavy question. I'd spend it with my family. If I knew it was my last day on Earth, I'd spend it with with the people I love. I couldn't do anything else. I'd want to say I'd want to if it's just for me, if it's just my last day on Earth, I'd probably drag them to the mountains and watch the sunset on a mountaintop. But I'd be spending it to them. I'd be spending it with them. Any big plans for the channel this year? Yes. Like I said, I want to start streaming. I want to get better production quality for the videos, and I would like to. I'd like to do a little more, not just audio RP, but audio storytelling. So both of those, a lot of those. A country I'd like to visit. So I've done a little bit of traveling internationally. I've been to France, I've been to Germany, I've been to Greece, I've been to Ireland, I've been to Canada. Um, Japan. I would love to visit Japan. Um, I'd also really, of all the, maybe this is an odd one, I'd love to go to Mongolia. Because there are places in Mongolia that are just empty, and I would love to just travel the steppes and, just kind of be out there. I, but there's so many answers to that question because it's a great question. But I'd love to. There's so many places I'd love to travel. I'd love to go to Brazil. I'd love to go to Argentina. I'd love to go to if it. You can actually travel to Cuba right now, so I'd love to do Cuba at some point. Um, yeah, there's a ton of places I'd like to visit. I'd love to go to India. Um, I'd love to travel around the African continent. It's there are so many cool places, and I don't want to just get stuck in my own little corner of the U.S. in Jersey. Um, okay, we're gonna do a little fast fire here for this next set. Renetka, favorite thing about doing YouTube? I love connecting with all of you. I really do. I know that may sound like a bit of a you know softball answer, but I really actually do enjoy bringing you content, and knowing that I've made some people happy brings me a huge amount of joy. So that. What makes you laugh the most? A good joke. I do enjoy a good joke. Um, what motivates you to work hard? Again, I actually do enjoy putting out content. It's a lot of fun for me, and I enjoy bringing it to all of you. If you could go back in time, what year would you travel to? I've got no earthly idea. Good question, but I got nothing. I really don't. Aside from necessities, one thing I couldn't go a day without: coffee. I really couldn't. The caffeine headache would probably kill me. How many languages? Like I said, three: Spanish, French, and German, and English. And I'm fluent in New Jersey. I'm very fluent in New Jersey. What was my first job? My first real, honest to God, paying job was as a wilderness survival instructor for the Boy Scouts as a camp counselor. I spent a summer up in New Hampshire teaching wilderness survival. That was my first job. Three items I would take with me on a deserted island: my music collection, the stuff on my phone, good coffee, and an axe. And again, that axe thing comes from the wilderness survival instructor, but I could do a lot with an axe. Favorite swear word? It begins with an F. Just gonna be completely honest there. It begins with an F. Just Usern? USRN? Again, I'm sorry if I'm kicking up these names. What is your favorite quote, or what keeps you motivated and a hard worker? So I have two on the whiteboard that sits above my computer monitor. The first one is a portion of a quote from Teddy Roosevelt. And it simply says, "The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena." Now, let's update that for the 21st century. The credit belongs to the person who is actually in the arena. I adore that quote because it reminds me every day that I need to be willing to get into the arena, or I need to be willing to get myself out there and do things if I want things. It also reminds me to sometimes let everything else going on fall behind me and focus. Just put my head down, work, and do my thing. And everything is probably going to turn out all right. The other one I have is a bit of a mashup, because I know the original part of it came from an episode of Firefly, but somebody changed it up a little bit. But it says, "Run when you can, walk if you have to, crawl if you must, never give up." And I love that sentiment. No matter what, always keep fighting. And I promise you, it'll be worth it. Just keep going, and you'll get where you want to be eventually. Are we maybe getting a Vampire 1? Yes, you did. About 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago? I don't remember. I've actually done so much audio production in the last 3 days of just trying to edit. I can't remember a lot. But there is a Vampire out there, and there is Vampire 2 coming. Best advice you could give to someone: stay true to yourself. Always. Be the person you want to be, and never sacrifice that. Haverin, Leah, what do you do in your free time besides voice acting? Like I said, cosplay. I like to play games. Hopefully I'm going to start streaming some Subnautica soon. That is, if my PC can handle it. I tried it out the other day, and my PC started actually spooling up the power supply unit for the first time in the entirety I've owned this unit, so that was kind of wild. But yeah, cosplay, video games, woodworking, hiking. Favorite music genre? I don't have one. There's so much different music out there that I like. I could pick out songs from every single genre that I love, so I don't know if I could really pick one. Are you a morning or a night person? 100% a night person. I absolutely focus better at night. It's quieter, everything's more at peace, and I can get a lot more done at night. Moonlight Meeting was a month ago. Thank you, Storyteller Lizzie. Moonlight Meeting, which was the first of the Vampire audios. It's Ophelia. What was your favorite subject from your school days? History. Do you like to sing? I do like to sing. I know I don't have the best voice that ever existed, but I do enjoy it quite a bit, so that's kind of all that matters to me in some ways. Cappuccino with sugar and or espresso. I am a black coffee kind of guy. I do not disparage anyone who puts sugars or creamers. By all means, keep doing it. But for me personally, it is a black cup of strong coffee or a black espresso. Clean and easy. Favorite anime? I don't know. I don't know if I could pick just one. My mind sometimes goes to Hellsing, because I really, really like Hellsing. I also really liked Neon Genesis, so somewhere in there. Favorite dessert? So I haven't had dessert in like 4 weeks because I give it up at this time every year. But I will say, Reese's Cups. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I adore Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. They are just my favorite. Okay, so that's actually the end of all the questions I have from Twitter and YouTube. But we've been doing, wow, it's been an hour and a half. Well, I mean, if you all don't mind, if you want to keep going for a little bit, I got a little more in me. So if you would, if you want to start putting some questions in the chat, I can't promise I'll get to all of them because chat's moving decently fast, but I will do my best for a little while longer to see how far we can go. I'm just putting my laptop behind me because I don't need it anymore. So, Do you like drawing? I cannot draw to save my life. My stick figures look janky. Favorite comment? I don't have a favorite comment. I love it when people tell me jokes. I love it when I hear how much people enjoy the audios. I enjoy getting comments. I honestly never thought I would get to 10,000 subscribers, almost 11, and I never thought I would see comments. So it's kind of wild to see. Favorite animated movie? Ooh, it's a toss up for me. In the Disney category, it's going to be like either Sinbad, Hercules, or Tangled of all things. And I know that's Tangled's kind of an outlier in those three, but I love all three of those movies. Out of the Disney realm, Spirited Away. I actually love Spirited Away. I did a cosplay of No Face. That's how much I love Spirited Away. Pixar, it's going to be Up. Up, the opening sequence in that movie will make me weep every single time. It just will. Does Yuri know we love him? Yuri knows it. Yuri knows everyone loves him, and he will love everyone so long as you have chicken. That's the strat to get to him. Favorite Pokemon? I'm not sure why, but Scyther. I dig Scyther. I think he's cool. Thoughts on Marvel? I like the movies. I enjoy them. I'm a little perturbed by how much property their parent company has started to buy, but that gets me into a more corporate rant. I'm not a fan. Would you ever do a dance-themed audio? I'm not sure how that would work. I'm not saying no. Wait a minute. But I'm not saying I wouldn't. I don't know how that would quite work. Wait, Sinbad is a DreamWorks property? Son of a... Really? Oh, man. Uh-oh. Would I ever do an audio telling you about Greek mythology? How much do you want to fall asleep? Because I can absolutely do it, and you will absolutely just pass out. Let's see. I'm gonna give Yuri all the chicken. He'll be fine with that. He would love it. He would absolutely love it. What cosplay are you working on now? So, I'm working on a couple right now. The big one is Blitz from Rainbow Six Siege, and that's actually the piece I got in was his helmet. I also got in a mask for an SCP cosplay that I'm doing, actually. Those are the two big ones. I'm toying around with a Godric Gryffindor cosplay, but it's going to be a little different, and it's going to take a lot of work, so... Favorite book? Lord of the Rings, 100%. I know you talked about archaeology in your audios. I was thinking about doing it. College took a different turn for me, I'm going to be honest, so it just was one of those... It never happened. I still love archaeology. I still think it's very, very cool. But I just never got to it. Bookworm or don't like books? Very much a bookworm. I read books all the time whenever I get a chance. It's not been as often as I'd like recently, but how dare I get that wrong? Eris, I'm sorry. I honest to God thought that was a Disney movie. I really did. The animation style. I can tell you I know that Brad Pitt did Sinbad. I know he was the Sinbad voice. But I'm sorry. Nomad, Greek lecture sleep aid. It absolutely would be a sleep aid. I had a professor in college who did a mythology course, and he had the gentlest voice you've ever heard. It was soft, it was kind of light, and I fell asleep every single class. It was terrible. I felt so bad. New audio series, but it's just Yuri. I mean, he sleeps a lot, so... It wouldn't sound like much. Favorite werewolf movie? Honestly, I really like the movie Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman, and there was some werewolf action going on in there. Probably the Underworld series with Kate Beckinsale. I enjoyed those movies quite a bit. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to betray you. You know that. What character archetypes would you like to try next? Ooh. Well, like I said, I did the Neco. That was a new one for me. Um, I did play around a little bit with a dragon voice. I'm not sure exactly how that one's going to work out, but I kind of enjoy it. But I would also like to do a little more. I have a couple ideas for a fantasy, like a ranger esque character, almost along the lines of a Lord of the Rings Aragorn. So, something along those lines. There's a couple. Puppy snores are cute, though. Not the way he does it. Yuri's snores are these weird sounds that he makes. I can't even fully explain it. Excuse me. What is the craziest thing that ever happened in your life? It was probably the time I accidentally spun my car out on a major highway. And I was only lucky that there was no traffic that day because I ended up pointed the wrong way on a major highway. And I had just enough time to get it around before people came spinning around the corner. Wait, no more scripts for me. Oh, God. I'm sorry. I am. I promise I'm sorry. Holy damn, this is still going on. I'm complaining. A lot of questions. And I'm okay with that. Will we see Damien again? He scares me. Yes, you will. He will be making an appearance. And on that note, I love your all reaction to Damien. Because when I voiced him, I honestly tried to make him sound like the biggest jerk imaginable. And to read all of the comments about, I hate this guy. He's such a jerk. I don't want to be around. I loved it. From the bottom of my heart, I was like, I got that one right. And it made me so happy. Is the bird the word? I don't think you want me singing that right now. That's one's, oof. Have you read Diary of a Wimpy Kid? Years ago. Years and years and years ago. Is my fantasy universe connected, like with Deacon and the werewolf and Mitch? To a certain extent, yes. They are absolutely interconnected. And down the road, certain characters may be meeting certain other characters, and keep an eye out. Have you watched Criminal Minds? A lot of it, not the whole series, but a lot of it. I want to post up on Damien. Everybody should want to post up on Damien. That was the point, and I am so glad you all didn't like him. Yeah, Ebony, I did voice Damien. That was me. Honestly, I modulated my voice backwards. First of all, I kind of started in a little bit of a slow drawl down here, and then I actually put this voice into Audacity, and I changed the intonation. I took it from, I think the note was a G, and I brought it down one to an F, and that's where Damien's voice came from. But yeah, that's me. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would you choose? Oh, that's a... Whoa. Teddy Roosevelt. 100% Teddy Roosevelt. With the Damien voice, I wanted to kick his ass so hard. I did too, and that's how I knew it worked. The fact that we all said, that everybody was saying, I want to kick his ass. I was so happy. Me and the homies hate Damien. Good. Keep hating Damien. He's gonna show up a couple more times, and you're gonna hate him even more, and it's awesome. What was the last movie that I went to? I think it was Endgame. I think it was Avengers Endgame. Goodbye, Bianca. For the record, by the way, this is going to be up on the channel, so if you ever want to rewatch it or catch something you might have missed, by all means, it'll be there. Have you ever been to Asia? No. And I want to go so badly. And where? Pretty much everywhere. I would love to visit Japan. I would love to visit China. I would love to visit Mongolia. Everywhere. in Asia. Um, Wait, whose mate? Damien's mate? Because if you're asking what would Damien's mate say, she's kind of just as bad. And you may meet her a little later down the road. If you got bit by a radioactive animal, what animal powers do you want to inherit? Ooh. Fish. I'm going back to my let me get bitten by a radioactive salmon so I can just pull a Finton, and when I have to get out of somewhere real quick, I can fish powers, swim away. Damien kind of acts like a Chad, but not in a funny way. I know, right? Have you ever performed on stage? Yes, I have. Actually, where a lot of my initial experiences came from was my mother, who is an actress, and she had to take me to a lot of auditions and rehearsals because we didn't have money for a babysitter when I was younger. So I basically grew up around actors. That's my that's my resume, as it were. Did I ever visit any other countries? Yeah, Ireland, Greece, Germany, France, Canada. I would love to learn to do a British accent, but that one's tough, and I've got the Irish down really well, so I'm hoping I can kind of get it to shift over. Oh, it's 1:15 where you are. Yeah, get some sleep. I think tonight's the first night in a while I'm going to go to sleep before like 3. I should do an ASMR fish. That would be cool. I could probably make that work. Reject humanity. Return to fish. I will absolutely return to fish. Um. Oh, if we're talking about crying during Avengers movies, legitimately at the end of Endgame, I was a wreck. It absolutely would be. Alright, I'm about to head out and just go. I would like to hear an attempt. I don't even know where the attempt is. Honestly, my head's kind of stuck right now in Neco voice, so it's pretty hard to get out of that voice at the moment. Cause I've also been listening to that audio for the last 2 days to get it finished and edited. So, one specific historical moment. This is gonna sound really weird. Pompeii. Or the real Trojan War. Not just the horse and the mythology, but the honest to God Trojan War. Nomad, when there's a coffee ocean, Irish heritage, don't fail me now. Yeah. What's the best piece of advice anyone has ever given you? It came from a very old friend of mine who he and I still talk on a daily basis. Sometimes the best thing you can do in life is put your head down and work. And sometimes it's the last thing you want to do, but that's when you need to do it the most. Are you going to read Twitter? Why, what's going on Twitter? God, please nothing. Twitter has been a little spicy of the last. Oh, there's 20 plus notifications here. What the heck? Have you ever been to McDonald's? Yes, I have, and yes, I have played with Play-Doh. Oh, there's a bunch of people following. Let's see. I'm watching you. Okay. I'll keep popping over there. What movie quotes do you use on a regular basis? I quote the movie Christmas Story far more than I should. Because if we're going to be completely fair, it's not a great movie, but for some reason it's stuck in my head. Merman ASMR. I could probably do that. I hadn't thought about it, but it could happen. Why Pompeii? Something about it being a classics major, being somebody who spent 6 years of their life studying the classical societies. It's one of the defining moments in all of the classical age. As twisted as it might sound, I would go there. I don't have a favorite video. I really don't. Yes, I have been to McDonald's, and yes, I have played with Play-Doh. You've been eating. Hey, listen, I completely understand that. I'm usually eating while I edit, and I tend to overeat when I'm doing that. My day is going quite well, actually. Like I said, I got some really good news from a buddy of mine. Um, Everything's going pretty good. If I could possess people, I don't know if I'd want to possess people. I'd feel dirty doing it. I'd feel bad. I read the first of the Percy Jackson series. I never got past the first book. Not because it was bad, I just didn't know. I just didn't get around to reading the rest of it. I have played video games. I have played Silent Hill. I'm not the biggest fan of horror games, but at the same time, I might actually play some on stream just to have some fun. What's my favorite year? The year was 1989, and in February, a young nomad came to the world. Born that year. Has to be my favorite year. It's when I was born. God, that sounds so vain, doesn't it? Do I like art? Yes, I do. Quite a bit. No, I've not been recognized in public before. It's because of the fish thing. Prince ASMR. I've got a couple of plays with that, with the Prince being a Prince idea. What character in a movie could have been great, but they didn't cast the actor? Ooh, I don't know. I got nothing on that one. Yes, Yuri the Husky is real. He is very real. If you jump over to Twitter, there are pictures of Yuri on Twitter. And actually, another one's going to go up because he was annoying the living bejesus out of me today. I make a sandwich, and he will sit down, not look at me, but just sit down directly in front of me and look to the side. Like, well, no, you have to feed me. Any theme park? Six Flags in South Jersey. Do I listen to My Chemical Romance? Not only do I listen to My Chemical Romance, but I actually have tickets to the reunion tour that they were doing back in 2020 before everything got canceled. And I still have those tickets, and they should still be good for hopefully the September show if it happens sometime in 2021. But yes, I do. Whole audio over mythology or just classics? Maybe. Actually, I'm seeing a lot of people who seem to really want that. Do I listen to Panic at the Disco? Whenever I need high hopes, I do. Because I have high hopes for a living. And dancing is absolutely not a crime. Yes, I do like Tom and Jerry. Oh, man, chat's moving. Creepiest thing you've ever told or heard? Russian sleep experiment. The Russian sleep experiment. It's a creepypasta. I don't know why, but it's stuck in my head. I have thought about reading it for an audio, but it is truly creepy. Something about it just sits. If I could meet a famous person, who would I meet? Henry Cavill. Oh my goodness, Henry Cavill. First of all, he's the Witcher. I mean, who wouldn't want to meet Geralt? But also, he's so pretty. If you and Yuri switched bodies, what do you think he would do? He would finally have thumbs. The fridge would get raided and nothing else. He would sit there raiding the fridge until Kingdom Come. That's all he would do. If one of your friends or colleagues found out, come back, about this channel and told you that, hey, this guy sounds exactly like you, I don't know. That'd be pretty awkward. I might, that's weird. What are you talking about? I don't know. Oh, okay, hold on. Why not? Taylor ham or pork roll? Okay. As an expert in the language of New Jersey, both are technically correct. Taylor ham or pork roll. Both words work. Because Taylor ham is a brand, pork roll is the actual food. However, and this is coming from a New Jersey expert, Taylor ham is the superior pork roll, and I will die on that hill. Proposal ASMR. Yes, happening, eventually. Henry Cavill, oh my god. I know the Russian sleep experiment. Okay. I'm going to be honest. I read that in my mid 20s. It is the first time in my life as an adult I slept with the lights on that night. It stuck with me that hard. Am I an Avatar: The Last Airbender fan? Yes, because I still want to be in the secret tunnel. Yuri would eat all the chicken. I swear he would. He would just walk immediately in my body. He would walk to the fridge, open it up, just start everything he could get his hands on until the fridge was empty, and then with my luck, we'd switch back, and I'd be the one dealing with the sickness. Favorite Disney song? Okay, Hellfire from um, Hunchback of Notre Dame. I don't know why, but something about Claude Frollo and that song just will stay with me forever. I love a lot of Disney movies, but and the songs, but it's so good. Yuri is a mood. He absolutely is. Gracie, I'd be very hard pressed to do a face reveal. Um, I kind of want you guys all to be able to experience my content how you want to. So a face reveal would kind of limit that. Um, HL, which words? I don't know. I kind of missed them. It's 9:20. Where's the time code? I don't know. I really don't know. Zutara or Katang? I'm gonna be honest. I'm a Katang. Honestly, I don't necessarily like the Zutara pairing. I think they're more sibling-esque. I do listen to a little bit of 21 Pilots. Remind you to give me a script late. Well, I'm not batting. I'm not doing well with you today, Eris. I'm sorry. I promise I'm sorry. Would it make it up to you? I can, if you all want, I can give you a slight preview of the Neco voice if that would make it up to everyone. Is Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie? Yes. Favorite songs right now? I still think I have to put it to Woodkid's Battle Horizons into Battlegrounds. It's beautiful. It is haunting. The first time I listened to it when it came out, I was sitting on the edge of my bed. I was listening to it because I kind of wanted to experience it just by itself. It is the first time in a long time I've listened to a piece of music and I actually sort of like got choked up and started tearing up a little bit because it's that good. Give yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I am setting up an email for scripts because I actually have no problem doing it. I actually love doing scripting work. It's a lot of fun. So I'd always be open to looking at other scripts or fan scripts. Sorry. Die Hard is a Christmas movie, of course, 100%. Spotify playlist. I've been working on trying to figure out how to do Spotify playlist. And again, this is where my peak boomer energy comes into play. I don't quite know how to Spotify yet. I'm trying though. I promise I'm trying. First thing that comes to mind. At some point I need to cook dinner. Got a least favorite movie. Oh, I've got a list. I promise I've got a list. Probably Gods of Egypt. That thing was a pretty big dumpster fire. Which is also funny because I own a couple of movie props used on the set of Gods of Egypt. Have I seen Kingsman and Kingsman 2? Yes, I have. In fact, I did a cosplay of Agent Tequila, I think it is. Not Pedro Pascal's character, the other one whose name is escaping me. Great, the secret tunnel's stuck in my head. It's been stuck in my head for years. Have I seen The Room? Yes, I have. Which habit do you have now that you wish you started much earlier? Ooh, good one. Honestly, scheduling time. I find it to be such a good way to make sure I get everything done. Scheduling. Shakespeare content? Adore Shakespeare. I would absolutely do the sonnets. I'm trying to remember the number of My Love Is Not a Red Rose. My love is nothing like a red, red rose. I adore that sonnet. I think it's so funny. Yes, I do own movie props. Actually, it's probably one of the weird collections I have. I have a very large Blade Runner collection. I have a massive, massive Firefly collection. Sadly, though, the Firefly collection recently met with a little bit of tragedy. I no longer have a Malcolm Reynolds blaster, which is kind of heartbreaking, and I'm trying to find a new one. It got broken by the Blade Runner blaster falling on it. It was a whole thing. Wonder is such a good movie. Oh, Wonder is so good. Okay. Have I ever watched Doctor Who? Yes, I have. Quite a bit. I enjoy a lot of Doctor Who. I haven't really watched in like the last year, not for any other reason than I just haven't had time. Um, but I like Doctor Who quite a bit. I've also cosplayed the 11th Doctor. It was actually one of the first cosplays I ever did. Go to pizza topping. All meat. Horror romance. Probably horror. Because I love Lovecraft. Love Lovecraft. I really do love H.P. Lovecraft, Poe, a lot of them. Favorite books? Definitely Lord of the Rings. A lot of the classics. Moby Dick. I actually really like Moby Dick. Have you watched WandaVision? Watched the whole thing. I loved WandaVision. The ending was heartbreaking, but it was such a good series. Okay. So, it is 1:58. No, it's been an hour and 58 minutes. And we've been going for almost 2 hours. So, as promised, I saw a buttload of yeses in the chat. And because I said, hey, do you want me to do it? And I saw yeses, I guess I have to do it. If you guys want, if you all would like, I will absolutely do a minute of the Neco voice. And I think that's where we can leave it, if that's what you all want to do. I'll wait for a second for chat to start answering. So in the meantime, pro Hawaiian pizza. I actually don't mind pineapple and ham on pizza. Ice cream or pizza? Why can't it be both? Yes, yes. What's going back? What's going on? We are. Chat is deciding if they want to hear the Neco voice, and I'm thinking it's an yes. Cosmic Waters, The Fault in Our Stars. I actually saw that in theaters. And the row in front of me, there was a girl who cried from beginning to end, and I was honestly getting worried that she was going to get dehydrated at a point. Okay. We're doing this, aren't we? Okay. It's a good thing I have a bottle of water next to me so I can... Alright. And I admit this may be slightly... Oh, wrong pipe. I admit this might be slightly different from the audio that you get on Tuesday, but... So, I just want to thank everybody. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you tonight. Really, I had a really good time. I wish we could have had some tuna. I needed to eat something before I came on here, and I forgot to. I got distracted. I was nervous. But I had a lot of fun. I really did. And I just wanted to say thank you all.
Really, it's been so much fun, and I'm so grateful for everything you've done for me and for the support you've shown me over the last 6 months of my channel. Um, I know the werewolf probably really thanks you too, but he scares me. I don't like dogs to begin with because they're scary. They bark a lot, but I'm sure he wants to say thank you. Um, and I'm sure Arthur the thief, he's nice. I'm sure he's a nice person. He wants to say thank you. Um, but yeah, thank you all for coming and for spending some time with me tonight and for just supporting everything I do. Yeah, the laugh is at a higher pitch. I can't help it. I just like to have fun. I do. I like to have fun, and I like tuna. Oh, and good sunny windows. I really like sunny windows. They're a lot of fun. Yeah. So thank you.
Pog. uh, I don't know why I start doing that voice and my hands just start impacting each other in these weird, like, cutesy things. I don't know. It's weird. I actually had a bruise on one of my hands from doing the full audio.
I keep getting in there. I don't know. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I didn't think I'd enjoy doing this voice as much as I do, but it's it's kind of fun. I know the werewolf wouldn't think so. He thinks I'm annoying. Sometimes I think he likes me secretly. He just doesn't want to say it. But I bet you if he were here, he would probably say something about, no, it's not that I don't like you, but sometimes I just want a little bit of quiet. And you don't stop talking. And you make my head pound. I don't mean to. I have fun. I like spending time with all of you. It's nice to be involved. And it's nice to be here now. I know, and we all like having you here. Just go play with some string or something, okay? Go on, just go play with some string. Oh, okay, yeah. I'll see you guys later, okay? It's been so much fun, and I'm so glad I got to meet all of you. Thank you for, thank you for everything. I mean it.
Okay, I'm gonna send him away for a little bit because seriously, I like him, I do, but he is so much. He just doesn't stop sometimes. Okay. Yeah, he's off in a corner. He's playing with some string. He's doing his thing. You all have to know how much from the bottom of my heart you mean to me and how appreciative I am of my content being liked and appreciated by so many people. And I'm noticing my voice start to crack a little bit as I'm doing this because I've been speaking for 2 hours, but from the bottom of my heart, all of you, I want to thank you all so much. Um, he would say thank you, but he's off in a corner playing with string, and once he gets going, he's gone. Arthur wants to say thank you. I'm sure Mitch says thank you. Captain Coates says thank you. So, yeah. Mitch would have been here, but he's busy getting his audio done, and also being a bit enamored lately. He's busy. He's very busy. I don't know where Arthur is right now, to be honest. He he's kind of off somewhere international. He's why he couldn't make it here as well. So I guess you're stuck with me and the other guy, and of course Nomad. Nomad's here somewhere. But in the meantime, I think that is where I am going to call it all. Thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you for spending some time with me. And thank you for supporting me in everything I do. And with that, I am going to call it so. Good night, all. Thank you for being the beautiful souls that you are. And make sure to stay hydrated. I know each and every one of you has got this, and you're going to make tomorrow great. Good night.